Character and characterization, we begin with Ogolla. So when we focus on page 99, looking at here, at this part, okay, we see that Ogolla is concerned. He's actually interested in ensuring that they keep reminding people to avoid eating meat until doctors advise that it is safe. Okay, concerned and caring. Again, here he says, he's very critical that the governor eats meat outside the county, yet he intends to punish individuals by making them eat it. Then he is also skeptical, especially when we look at page 100 here. He tells us that Kayai might be popular, but that does not mean he would make a good governor. So he does not believe in Kayai. Okay? Now, he also says this county's next governor should be development-oriented and not someone like Kayai, who is not possibly good. He also says that Kayai is greedy, and if he really wanted to take care of the citizens, he would have forfeited his salary or donated it. That part is being critical, at the same time skeptical about the nature of Kayai. He is visionary. When you look at page 100 just below, he says that they need to focus on looking for a development-oriented governor who will actually solve the problems affecting low-income people, especially in healthcare. This person must make Kararas County attractive to big investors in horticulture and coffee. He must also create a favorable business environment for small businesses by removing unnecessary licenses and punitive taxes that stifle budding enterprises. We can also see on page 101, he says, sadly, voters gravitate towards candidates like Governor Mwitu, who charm them with emotional speeches and cash handouts during campaigns, which means he's very observant and informed here. He gave them money and they sold their 5-year economic birthright to him. Very critical there. On page 102, Ogolla turns to be very hopeful. He says, we also need to do a 2 to 4 minute video about the qualities of a good leader, or in our case, the desirable qualities of our next governor should have. Okay, and the end of the day, he says, this will rejuvenate Karara, especially if we focus on Sibor. We can also say he is very selfless, because you would think that he is doing this to make himself a leader. However, in the process, we've realized he just wants good leadership for Karara. We can also see he's very strategic, especially in planning to actually have a development-oriented leader who is going to solve the problems of low income, attract big investors, and also the fact that here he talks about the audios that will focus on good leader. That is very strategic. When we turn to Mwanga, Mwanga is also concerned and caring. When we look at page 99, he says, according to the doctors, the worrying thing is how fast the disease are spreading. So he's thinking deeply alongside the rest how to solve the problem. He is also skeptical. On page 100, he says, it is hard to tell. Kai is equally devious. He may have sensed an opportunity to sabotage and tarnish the governor's name to position himself for power. That statement he released could be a way to attract public sympathy and relevance. That is being critical and skeptical at the same time. He is also, I think, selfless, because look at page 101. He wants them to back Sibor for candidature by looking for a qualified deputy who is a civil lawyer who can speak coherently, to pair up with him, and then they can offer services to the people. When we go to the next person, who is, I think also Mwanga is informed, right? He understands that even though Sibor at the top is dull, and not naturally charismatic, he has very brilliant ideas about business or economic growth, and he will enhance the growth of the county. When we look at Lipuka, Lipuka is equally concerned. He says here on page 99, why would the governor abandon meat inspections? And very critical. Here he says, third, that's true. He is still receiving deputy governor's salary. If Kayai truly cared, he would resign. That is skeptical and critical. On page 101, before selling his ideas to people, let's first provide them with basic economic civic education. Here's what we are going to do. We will all meet Mr. Sibor and he will explain basic economic theories that can uplift the poor and low-income earners. You see, that one is being strategic. Then on page 102, he needs to be voted out. We need to meet Mr. Sibor to record him discussing a tailor-made economic plan that can revive Karara's physical fortune. So concerned and again selfless here. Now when we look at Kayai from what the rest are saying, he's pretentious or hypocritical and deceptive. They believe that he's pretending to be sick to just make people see how much he's suffering. Again, he's opportunistic according to the three. Mwanga believes Kayai is stealing a chance of the current situation to sabotage and tarnish the governor's name so that he can position himself politically. We have seen on page 100, Ogolla said he's greedy, that he is a greedy person politically. He will not resign and he is not forfeiting salary, but he's pretending to care for the people. From what these people have said, Sibor is dull. According to Mwanga, he is not naturally charismatic. He is informed. We are aware that he has made brilliant research papers about economic plans, and that is why these three people prefer him. He is admirable. Ogolla, Mwanga, and Lipuka want him because he has qualities of a good leader. Governor Mwitu, according to the three, he is unreasonable. From page 101, we've been told that he cares less about the economic growth of the people of Karara and instead loots them. Here it is shown. He is callous and selfish. From page 101, he ignores poor voters who chose him, believing his policies would put money in their pockets. He's also corrupt. He gave handouts to voters to vote for him. He is sly. He is looting the county funds through useless programs and has failed to deliver any of his promises. He is, I think those are the character traits. We can quickly go to thematic concerns. From thematic concerns, we have pretense or hypocrisy or sycophancy. Kayai is highly believed to be pretending to be sick by Ogolla, Mwanga, and Lipuka as a way to win the people of Karara, and not because he cares about them. Again, Mwitu pretended that he would rescue the people of Karara from poverty, yet he has messed up with them and made them sink deep into poverty. We have role of media. Ogolla, Lipuka, and Mwanga are actually saying they'll have Sibor sharing his plans, and then they'll record audios and use the media and young people to distribute on social media platforms and in Mwaria's radio station so that they educate people on good leaders and economic growth. We have seen selflessness. Ogolla, Lipuka, and Mwanga are uniting, using their time and resources to ensure they serve or save Karara County from poor leadership and bad policies that are suffocating them currently. We have selfishness and greed. Kayai is greedily receiving salary even when he knows the government has failed to serve the people. We also see Mwanga knows according to Mwanga, Kayai is politically greedy. We see poor leadership or bad governance. Kayai and Mwitu have been poor leaders who have introduced poor policies that have caused the health and economic situation of the Karara County. From page 101, we can see that, right? Good leadership and selflessness, I think I've explained. Ogolla, Lipuka, and Mwanga understand what good leadership is, good leaders are, and want Karara that will actually be led by a governor who is development-oriented so that they solve the problems affecting the low-income people and attract big investors of horticulture and coffee in Karara. Then create a favorable business environment for small businesses by doing away with unnecessary licenses and punitive taxes. We have ignorance. From page 101, Voters went for a charismatic bribing leader even when they knew he had a criminal record. They ignored Sibor just because he was dull in speech. Civic education. We can see civic education is serving as a tool to economically inform citizens on how to vote by Lipuka, Ogolla, and Mwanga, as shown on page 101. Ogolla, Lipuka, and Mwanga plan to have Sibor share his basic economic theories, which then will be created on audios, and media alongside young people will distribute on social platforms through radio stations to educate the people about good leaders and economic growth. Let's finalize with stylistic devices. We have idiomatic expression. Page 99 has the word throw caution to the wind. We have onomatopoeia, the word sigh, on page 99. On page 99 again we have tapping. Page 100 we have shrugs. We have irony. It's ironical that even though Kayai feels the current government has failed, he is not resigning at all and is receiving salary as normal. It's also ironical that voters are turned on by charismatic speakers through cash handouts and emotional speeches, and leave people who may be dull but efficient leaders like Sibor, as shown on page 101. It is also ironical that the governor, who was voted in by poor low-incomers, is looting county funds and failing to deliver the promised aspects. Here we can also have contrast. There is juxtaposition of who governor is and who Sibor is clearly. Mwanga is dull and naturally not charismatic, but he's brilliant, economic-oriented, and focused. Whereas governor is charismatic, yet careless and cruel to the people. I think that is majorly that. Unless there is another style that comes up, we'll be sharing through the guidebook. Otherwise, have a nice day. Let's meet again another moment. Bye-bye.